Mount Rushmore is a sculpture in the Black Hills of South Dakota. It's a sculpture of the most important presidents in US history, but if there was a Mount Rushmore of Fortnite, who would be on it? The presidents on Mount Rushmore symbolize birth, growth, development, and preservation, and I'm going to be using that to decide who is on the Fortnite competitive Mount Rushmore. But before we get into this video, thank you guys so much for 3,000 subscribers, and 99% of you guys aren't subscribed, so make sure you guys subscribe so we can bring that number up for next video, which I think you guys are going to really like. Also, if you guys want to have me added on Fortnite or even help me decide what video I'm going to make next, make sure you guys become members by pressing the join button, and the link is also in the description. I would greatly appreciate it. George Washington represents the birth of the country, so for the birth of Fortnite competitive, I think there's only one option, and that's Tfue. Even though we're talking about the start of competitive Fortnite, when talking about Tfue, we have to go before then. Before there was open qualifiers to qualify to lands, there was invite-only skirmishes, and in those skirmishes, Tfue won 2 weeks and came second in 1 week. But in week 6 of the fall skirmish, one of Fortnite's first lands, Tfue and his duo Cloaksy ended up beating out Nate Hill and Funk Bomb, winning fall skirmish and $400,000. At the birth of competitive Fortnite, Tfue won week 3 of the solo World Cup qualifiers, qualifying to the World Cup, guaranteeing at least $50,000. Unfortunately, he was contested off spawn in World Cup finals and ended up getting 67th place, but when one chapter ends, another one begins. Thomas Jefferson is on Mount Rushmore because he represents growth. The best representation of growth in Fortnite has to be Mongraal. Not only has Mongraal grown as a person after he quit, he defined the growth of competitive Fortnite. When Tfue was starting to place worse, Mongraal was starting to make a name for himself. At the birth of competitive Fortnite in the first open qualifier to an international LAN, Mongraal double qualified to the World Cup, but only in duos, and at the time, Mongraal was one of the best, if not the best, solo player in the world. People were starting to think that he wouldn't qualify for the solo World Cup, but that only took until week 9 when Mongraal pulled off a top 5 clutch of all time in Fortnite's history.
His head might have been poking through the floor. He's saying just ahead, just out of sight. Does the player see him? I don't think so. The drop in. Gets the shot off and gets the elimination. Mongraal literally putting on a clinic of why you need to pay attention to what's going on.
Everybody,
are you kidding me?
Just fell.
Picks up 3 balls.
Launch pad, he's gonna launch pad off. Oh my goodness, are you serious? 13 eliminations, there's still 4 players left, including him. Add it down! No way are you doing this right now, Mongraal! No way! Top 3 situation now. Gonna get the time for the minis. Still needs to find 2 more. Not sure who he's fighting. It's Alec on high ground and then Tfue. Mongraal took down every single player that we talked about earlier in the lobby. And now reloading the double RPG as well. Tfue's gonna go down in another one. Mongraal, are you kidding me? There is no way you just did that. All right, see you, Lupo.
I gotta go.
After that clutch, Mongraal qualified for the solo World Cup, making him a 3-time World Cup qualifier. In the World Cup, Mongraal was the second most consistent throughout both solos and duos, finishing in 13th in solos and 6th in duos. After World Cup, Fortnite announced Season X and the first FNCS where Mongraal would have one of the most dominant FNCSs of all time. Mongraal played the first FNCS with Mitro and Benji Fishy, and in the 5 qualifier weeks, Mongraal and his trio would win 3 out of the 5 and come second the other 2 weeks. But in grand finals, they would get surprise contested and griefed by a mech and would end up finishing in 10th place. In Squad FNCS the next season, Benji and Mongraal would pick up Wolfies and Nate, and they would keep up their hot streak from the prior season, coming second in grand finals. In Chapter 2 Season 2, Mongraal would end up not making grand finals, and some people were starting to call him washed. But 2 seasons later, he would grow as a person and start considering playing competitively as business, and would play with someone he didn't have the best relationship with. And that ended up being for the best, because in Chapter 2 Season 4, Mongraal, Mitro, and TaySon would win FNCS while being contested on the second day. After winning FNCS, Mongraal would end up not making another grand finals. He would end up quitting in Chapter 2 Season 8, and after he quit, he would start growing as a person and started getting into a healthy lifestyle and learning the art of discipline. 2 years after quitting, Mongraal would come back and grow as a player again. He would completely change his playstyle from having an ego and keying everybody to playing more smart and methodical. And as of now, it looks like Mongraal is going to be playing FNCS with Mr. Savage. Teddy Roosevelt is on Mount Rushmore because he represents development, and the best representation of development in Fortnite has to be TaySon. TaySon started playing competitively later than anybody else in this video. He started off placing competitively in Chapter 2 Season 2 by coming 5th in the solo invitational. But he wasn't settled with that. He knew he can do better and he was ready to prove it. For Chapter 2 Season 3, it was another solo FNCS and TaySon was ready to grind. He played scrims all day, every day, from the first day of the season to the day before Grand Finals. By the time Grand Finals came around, all of his practice paid off and he was able to win his first FNCS. TaySon represents development because Fortnite competitive as a whole has developed. It used to be where you had to be a popular streamer and would have to get invited to tournaments to be able to compete. But now if you are determined, you can grind all you want and have results to prove it. After winning solo FNCS, TaySon won the next FNCS with Mongraal and Metro. Since then, TaySon has proved that Fortnite as a whole has developed and that is still true today. Fortnite is not the same game competitively as it was even a year ago. And after proving that he's a determined young star that would do anything to win, he would go on to win 3 more FNCSs and would end up placing top 5 10 more times in Grand Finals. Abraham Lincoln is on Mount Rushmore because he represents preservation. The best representation of preservation in Fortnite competitive has to be Bugha. Bugha won the first week of solo World Cup qualifiers, qualifying to the solo World Cup. When the day finally came, Bugha showed up and won. Not only did he win solo World Cup, he doubled second place's points, winning $3 million. After World Cup, Bugha came 26th in the first FNCS Grand Finals after being one of the favorites to win. For squads the next season, he came 21st in Grand Finals. But finally, in Duo FNCS in Chapter 2 Season 2, he came 5th with Stretch, shutting down all the allegations of people calling him washed. For the next 3 Grand Finals, Bugha came top 5 in all of them. But after not making Grand Finals in Chapter 2 Season 6 and coming 8th in Chapter 2 Season 7, people were starting to call him washed again. People were saying that he always has the best drop spot and he should be winning every FNCS when he hasn't even came top 3. But just when it seemed like the world was against Bugha, he went and won Chapter 2 Season 8 Grand Finals with the best controller player of all time, Miro, and an underrated OCE player, Muzz. Finally, Bugha was able to shut down people calling him washed, but he wasn't done. He won Grand Royale the next season and Chapter 3 Season 1 FNCS. After his last FNCS win, he completed the three-peat that saved his career. He only lost his streak when he came 3rd in Chapter 3 Season 2 Grand Finals. Bugha represents preservation the best because he was able to keep his career alive even though it seemed like the whole world was against him. And that is my Fortnite Mount Rushmore. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and press the join button if you are interested in becoming a member and supporting me. Not only does it support me, there is cool perks that come along with it. If you want to learn more, click the first link in the description. But until next time, see you guys later.